Welcome to the Alcomatics CyberSEC Leaders Webinar Series. I'm Richard Ritchie, your host and Managing Director of Alcomatics. Now, as many of you know already, Alcomatics is a niche executive search and recruitment agency based here in Dubai with a primary focus on sourcing top commercial talent for the IT channel industry, with a strategic focus on cybersecurity. Now, as part of our ongoing client and candidate engagement program, we're running the CyberSEC Leaders Webinar Series. And this is really aimed at helping business leaders identify and attract key talent in the industry by discussing career objectives, trends, threats, and solutions with a variety of industry guests. Now, today, I'm excited to be joined by Pavin Varughese, Country Manager Middle East at Heimdal Security. Heimdal Security is a leading European cybersecurity vendor. Say hello, Pavin.
Hello, hello.
So we obviously got quite a few things you want to jump into today, but before we do that, I guess the first question is obviously let's hear from yourself, Pavin. Why don't you tell us who you are and what is it you do at Heimdal?
Sure. You already did, Richard. So, as you said, I represent Heimdal Security. We are a European cybersecurity vendor. We started our operations in Middle East in 2014 and 15 when the company was founded in Copenhagen, Denmark.
Mm-hmm.
We are, I can proudly say that one of the fastest growing cybersecurity vendors, and it's been a great pleasure for me to represent Heimdal as the first man on the ground. I joined Heimdal in 2019 December as the country manager for the Middle East operation, and so far it has been a wonderful journey, and I'm looking forward for a great journey with Heimdal.
Excellent. So tell me a little bit more about Heimdal. What is their focus at the moment in this region?
Heimdal Security as a vendor, a cybersecurity vendor, I don't want to call we are very niche in what we are providing, but there is something really unique which no one can substitute. That's the beauty about Heimdal. We have multiple technologies which no one have thought about. In a single bundle, in a single, in a dashboard. That's the beauty about Heimdal. So,
yeah, can you give me some examples?
It's all about it's all about making people's life easier. So the customers at the moment in the region, I will come to that in the later stage. But at the moment in the region, people have multiple technology for each thing. They will be having something for the endpoint security, something for the email security, something for the DNS security, something for the management, email for prevention, remote desktop, and that's where Heimdal works as like a supporting player in their journey to success. We provide all these technologies in a single bundle, in a single dashboard, which can make the customer's life much easier.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean here, the customer don't have to struggle by going into multiple dashboards, multiple solutions. It's all about making the life easier. That's where we are looking forward to.
Definitely. I've heard it time and time again over the last few months, actually, when companies, obviously they're investing an incredible amount now in cybersecurity, but having 15 different cybersecurity tools or products from different vendors can be actually quite confusing and can itself create opportunities for breaches, right? So I can understand why having it all in one platform and provider is certainly attractive to some people. But look, I'm interested to understand a little bit more about yourself, Pavin. You obviously said you were the first man on the ground here in the Middle East for Heimdal Security. Can you just tell us a little bit about that? Like, how did you even get started as the first man on the ground?
Sure, definitely. I always want to do something, which was under my passion. And my passion was always to learn a lot about the technologies, about the market, about what is happening with the worldwide. So in the whole journey, which started in 2014 in Middle East, I have been through this. I have been selling solutions. I've been, advising solutions to the customers. I was selling products to the customers. At the same time, I find some time to develop my passion. I time to develop my learning capabilities, and I was of course a fast learner, and that helped me to land in this position. So when I was working in a previous organization, I went to a Heimdal security team. They know me very well for the last 3-4 years, and that led a successful step towards our growth in the Middle East region. Me as a person and Heimdal Security as a vendor. So we agreed to start a collaboration between me and Heimdal's headquarters, and we started our operation in UAE, having our office in JLT in 2019 December. Then it's been almost like 1.5 years, and it's been very fast, very fast.
So what does it mean? So being a country manager, you're obviously first man on the ground. So I imagine there's a few different responsibilities there, right? I imagine setting up the office. Certainly, sales would be a key component of that, but then also building a team and a support mechanism around you, right?
It's all about a lot of tasks together. Being the first man in the ground. If he does good, then definitely things will fly. If it don't perform well, then definitely things will be bad for each company. And I would say one of the success part of Heimdal was I have put a lot of effort. Not just me, my partners in the region, my distributor in the region. They have supported in a very good way in promoting Heimdal and building a team in Middle East as well. So at the moment in the month of June 2021, we have a team of around 10 people focusing into the Middle East market, majorly UAE, but yes, we have customers across the globe. I mean, the Middle East territories. I mean, it's all about setting up the team. It's all about setting up the office structure. And one more thing, really important is to find the right people to work, and it's been a successful thing.
I guess finding the right people is key, because they need to buy into the same vision that you bought into as well, right? Because I guess, like you say, I think from a vendor's perspective, moving into the region, it must be quite. It's obviously a key role for them to hire for a country manager position such as what you occupy, because you'd imagine that, for example, if you were to not work out, they could draw the conclusion that the Middle East didn't work out for them, when in actual fact, it's nothing to do with the Middle East. It's you, because you're carrying that responsibility. So it's quite a serious role to play. And you've obviously built it pretty well over the last couple of years. Things are moving on. So it's, hats off to you, my friend.
Thanks.
So look, from an industry perspective, obviously things have changed quite a lot in the last couple of years. How have you seen the cybersecurity industry change specifically over the last 12 to 18 months, and how has it affected your business?
When you look into the cybersecurity industry, there have been a huge difference, in the last couple of years. One of the differences, of course, the increase in the cybersecurity attacks. Finally, people started losing a lot of money. The customers have seen really the value of having a team for cybersecurity in the enterprises, especially when it comes to the enterprises really understood the value of having a CISO, the Chief Information Security Officer, and also really want to have a couple of people under him, under the cybersecurity team, also taking care of the incident management part of it. So people at the moment, or the C-level employees at the moment in each company, they don't want to pay the ransomware at the moment. Instead of that, now they are ready to spend money to prevent the environment from getting attacked. So that's one of the biggest differences we have seen at the moment in the cybersecurity industry.
Was that people's willingness to spend? Is that what you mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, more than spend, Richard, it's all about, they have seen, or, my friends in the CISO spaces and cybersecurity spaces, they used to come to me saying, Pavin, now we have a great value in the company, because the C-level employees have seen a great advantage of having us as in their team. Time has gone. I mean, if you look into like 4 or 5 years back, it was not very necessary to have a CISO in a company, but things have changed a lot. And in the last couple of years, I think, this has been a great change.
Excellent. So it means so it's obviously great for the industry as a whole from a career perspective, I guess. If you're moving into cybersecurity, certainly in the tech space, there's a lot more opportunity for growth by the same time. As companies now value, I guess, cybersecurity products, services, but also cybersecurity professionals, both internal and consulting as well. Okay, so that kind of brings us up to date, if you like. But then, how do you see things changing over the next 12 to 18 months? Where is the industry heading here?
The industry will be definitely very, very, very in a very good situation. If you look into, maybe after one or 2 years of time, what I see the most valuable thing is I have seen already some tractions happening in the market, not just in UAE, in Middle East, but across the globe. Solutions, the products are being replaced completely. It's been replaced by the solution. The customers no longer want the product. They go to a customer and tell, I have a product which is Heimdal security. In 1 or 2 years, the customers will say, no, Pavin, we are not looking for Heimdal security, but we're looking for a patents and management or a DNS security. So the future will be more towards the solutions than the products. That's one change which will be coming very, very soon. Another change which I am currently seeing is the cybersecurity have evolved a lot, and as I told you, the management, the C-level employees are seeing a great value in investing in cybersecurity. So if you look into the enterprises, which is now happening at the moment, are moving towards SOC as service models. So there are multiple companies in the market like LPG, Interset, and all, which provides managed security services. I mean, I totally agree with what Nicola was saying last webinar. So people are moving towards that space. The enterprises wants to secure their environment, so they want to give it to the best hands in the market, and that's where
you're seeing a rise of the managed security providers.
Exactly. And for the companies like the SMEs and the SMBs, where they can't really afford a managed security service, and the fact it's a bit costly. People can do it in an economical way, though it's a bit costly. So the companies who can't afford, I think the term for them will be virtual CISOs, and it's gaining a lot of momentum at the moment in the market. People are a lot talking about virtual CISOs.
Interesting. So, but then how does that play into a vendor's hands? If they're looking to acquire solutions rather than products or services, does that mean Heimdal's strategy changes slightly?
It's more about Heimdal being a unique service provider in the market. And if you look into the growth which Heimdal is going, Heimdal have a great plan to have multiple integration with multiple technologies. And we are currently working with one of the leading companies from Iceland when it comes to the DDA capability. So the customers will get a DDA as a platform for them now. Okay, so if you look into the last couple of years, this have been already, it is happening. It's an ongoing process. Instead of, it doesn't matter whether you're a leading vendor or you're not a leading vendor, but the integration possibility have been a lot in the market, enabling the MSPs, enabling the resellers and the service providers to provide the services or the solutions than the product. And that's where Heimdal is heading to. Heimdal will be very soon very, very strong in the integration space, where we are currently talking to a couple of biggest vendors in the market, enabling them to offer more than what they're currently doing.
Okay, interesting. We've got a couple of questions from some of the guys here. So Mohammed Kamal says, so isn't it the moment to rely on management systems like ISO 27001, ISO 22301, or ISO 20000, so we can push in this direction?
This all ISO certifications all have been a very important part of a company structure. When it comes to any companies who wants to excel in the growth, they definitely need all these compliances in place. And this will definitely, not only help the company, but it will bring a lot of awareness among their employees as well. Because Heimdal recently got the SOC 2 compliance, and it was a great process for us as a company. We learn, what is the real requirement, what is actually GDPR, what is actually why we need the SOC 2 compliance, and this. If you look into the future, this all will be considered as a trust factor for the enterprises. Yeah. To the question, what I was meaning here is, if you look into the future, the ISO compliance and on all these areas will be considered. It is very important for any companies in the market, but it's more important to the resellers or the vendors, because the customers will see that as a trust factor. They can be measured on that.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Another question from Balaji. Balaji says, what are the possible causes or possibility for getting cyber attacks?
That's a great question, Balaji. Balaji, I want to answer this question in this way. The hackers sitting, on other side. Yes. I represent Heimdal Security, and my agenda is to provide you the best security in the market. That's correct. But on the other hand, the hackers sitting in other side, they are very, very smart. Yeah. They always come with something great which can overcome what you have in place. Yeah. So even if you have all the technologies in place, let's say you have 30 products or 40 products, leading products in cybersecurity, that doesn't mean that you are 100% secure. We have heard many stories about the big enterprises, the big cybersecurity solution providers getting attacked in the last couple of, which are very famous. So this question it's a very, very vast area, and there are a lot of things you have to do, Balaji. You have to secure your environment by definitely with a strong firewall, a strong, enterprise grade and endpoint security. More than endpoint security, you need some solutions like Heimdal, like an EPDR solution, which focus into protection than the prevention or than the remediation and detection. And moreover, all this, you have to give proper user awareness to your employees. To the team working in your team, you have to give proper user awareness. They have to know, they have to understand what are the steps, what are the things you have to do on a daily basis. And you have to understand in which all way an attack can happen. So if you give that, I can simply say that 80% your environment is secure. Yeah. But the insider that, yes, that's the most common, most.
It's interesting. We were talking about with Nikolai in the last session last month. We were talking about the idea of cyber insurance, and the reality is, I think it's hard for cyber insurance companies, because what is a secure company, right? You can't necessarily define it, because it's a moving target, right? A moving target because the ways of making something secure are evolving, but also the ways of breaching those security perimeters are evolving as well. So it's just something you constantly need to be, to keep on top of and keep educated on, I guess. There's another question we have before we get back to the plot, let's say. Sriram, hopefully that answers your question, Balaji and Mohammed. So Sriram has a question. What is a special feature in Heimdal Enhanced EDR?
Sriram, to answer the question, Heimdal Security, we are not really an EDR solution. Our team or the way the other partners or the other vendors look into EDR is different. Ours is different. Our focus is mainly into the prevention part of it. Being a proactive vendor, being a proactive support to your environment, that's what Heimdal Security looks into. That's what we focus. So Heimdal doesn't really focus into EDR, but we came up with a new term called EPDR, Endpoint Prevention, Detection, and Response. I would say that's the next level of EDR, where we focus more into prevention, and we pay a little importance to remediation and detection.
Yeah.
So we used to hear this: an apple a day keep the doctor away. Yeah. So that's about, it's the same concept. If we can do the prevention, if I can eat an apple and prevent myself from getting um, injured or maybe sick, then why should I go to doctor? So the same concept is here. We make sure that your environment is secure. We prevent all the attacks in your environment so that we don't have to really look into the remediation detection part.
Yeah.
That's the concept of Heimdal EPDR.
It's an interesting one though, right? Because obviously prevention is always better than the cure, of course. But I think given the fact that we were just discussing the idea of a secure organization is not reality. There needs to be, I guess, a strategy for dealing with breaches. Like I was talking to a company yesterday, and they were saying, we did we had a red team attack or whatever on a company to test, and essentially their SOC team was sleeping. They didn't even trigger responses or red flags for up to 5 days later, which is quite horrendous when it only takes a fraction of a second to infiltrate a network, right, and take it down. So I think so. What they were advocating is, yes, obviously prevention is best. But there still needs to be recognition of, okay, if something does happen, what is your remediation, right? What are you going to do?
We focus, we have technologies, Richard, we have technologies to focus into the remediation detection part of it. We have a strong AV engine, a strong firewall management. We have a strong ransomware encryption protection, which we recently introduced. That's an product to be seen. It looks into any attacks or any encryption which is caused by the ransomware in your environment. And if it happens, the guarantee is we will prevent the encryption at the first file or second file. Yet the whole concept is to stop the spreading of the ransomware from getting into the environment. So we have a strong technology when it comes to the remediation part. And definitely we are looking forward to bring multiple technologies together in the future to make sure that this is fully automated and then people take steps. Like what you mentioned, Richard, you did an activity with the red team on a company where the SOC team was sleeping, of course. So what we're trying to do in the future is we will set up a unified security platform with automated response. That means if something happens, we have already mentioned what has to be done when this. So this will be the future. This will be how Heimdal gonna be mentioned in the books and also in the technology space in the future.
Fantastic. So as we now start to talk about the future, if you like, so looking ahead 5 to 10 years, so what does the cybersecurity industry as a whole look like? So outside of Heimdal now, what do you think the industry looks like? So let me put it another way. So if you think about the cybersecurity as an industry, what I'm actually interested in discussing now is from a skill set perspective, how do we ensure that we as individuals within the industry remain relevant? And obviously when you're talking to someone on the tech side of the business, then clearly there's various certifications that they can, or accreditations they can go for to keep their recognized knowledge up to par. But for someone who works on the commercial side of the organization like yourself, Pavin, what do you do or can you do to make yourself relevant as the industry evolves?
Richard, when I came to Middle East, I came with a very little experience in cybersecurity. But I've grown to this level because I have spent a lot of time in cybersecurity market. I spend my time to learn about the technologies, how it is evolving in the market, and it's going very, very fast. It's a very, very big field to work with as well. So to the question you answered, one of the greatest challenge which I felt in this market is the user awareness. Okay, it is not just between the cybersecurity leaders, but with the CIOs, CISOs, the C-level employees, everyone in the industry. They should be a bit more aware about what is the real technologies they need to protect their environment. What is the real use case of each technologies? I can simply say a small example. I have seen some countries. I don't want to name the country, but I have seen some countries which is in Middle East, not UAE, of course. They are investing a lot of money into the DNS security space.
Which are digital security space, is it?
The DNS security, DNS.
DNS. Okay, yeah.
So if you look into this region, we are not yet there. We are still, learning how DNS will work. It's a very slow process. So there are countries in Middle East who have already had awareness how the DNS security works, why we need DNS security.
Yeah.
On top of the firewall. But this is very important in Middle East. We should spread the awareness, which I'm currently doing through my team, through my partners, through my distributors, through my customers as well. Why we really need a DNS security in place, along with whatever security stack you have at the moment. So it's all about the awareness. The awareness is not yet in the right place. Of course, it's not it will not be a very fast grown thing. It will take time though, but I believe by end of this year or next year, people will really realize what is that we need to secure the environment. What are the technologies? It should be a 360 level technology. No one can survive with like 120 level or 240 level. It should be a 360 level security, which people should go for, and that's what Heimdal Security as a vendor, spreading in the market.
So but on a personal level, Pavin, I'm interested to understand. So, what are your again? What do you do? Are the articles, news streams, news feeds, whatever that you keep up with in order to keep your knowledge of the industry relevant? As I said, from a tech perspective, we can get our examinations, and that by virtue of having those qualifications will mean we can apply for certain jobs, right? But for you as a country manager, there's not necessarily the requirement for you to obtain such accreditation. So how do you demonstrate your ongoing value as someone who's leading an organization in this space? Does that make sense?
That makes sense, 100%, Richard. If you have a passion, definitely you will drive towards it, right? So that's where I'm also driving to. What I do on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, is I spend time on understanding what is happening in the industry. What is the latest technology in the industry? If I only learn about Heimdal security, definitely I will be having a little knowledge. But what I do usually is I learn about my competitors. I learn about the leading vendors in the market. I learn about the vendor we haven't found like 2 years back, 1 year back. What technology, what strategy they are utilizing, they are using in cybersecurity space. So it's all about the learning, Richard. It's all, if you spend some time on learning, if you talk to people, understand how they are performing, how they're working. That is the way to go. And of course, LinkedIn, the webinars like what you're currently doing, this all are part of it. This is all really part of it. The people who are here, I mean, we have many attendees here. They all are here because they want to learn about the cybersecurity industry, how we are performing as a kind of security, and how you are helping us. So this all is part of the journey. It's all are maybe one or 2 or 3 pillars in your growth, and this can definitely benefit in the future.
Excellent. Okay, so now as an organization within the cybersecurity industry, what do you believe are the key factors in attracting great talent? Because obviously you've recruited a fair amount of people over the last couple of years, and you're likely going to recruit more over the coming years. What are the things you feel are important to attract talent?
I feel, the main elements which when it comes to an employee is mainly, of course, the monetary factor. That's one main factor. When it's a monetary, it's about the financial part of it, and along with that, the reputation of the company, management, and the team they are working. These are the 3 areas where someone can get benefit, or someone will be interested to join the team.
And these are the things that you put as a priority when you're obviously looking for talent as well.
Exactly. It's all about you as a country manager being very frank with the people you're looking for. You have to be very, very, very open to them, mentioning we are this. We
Yeah.
came to this level. It's all because of our hard work, our performance, our solution offering, our uniqueness in the product. So if you be part of the team now, then definitely we can take you through all the steps, and you will be definitely successful in the future. So this is where people see a value,
Yeah.
and people you know utilize this as one of the major elements here.
Excellent. So I'm still here. My camera's turned off for some reason. I'll keep talking. The other question I have for you, Pavin, so if we're now talking about skills and experience, what are the toughest skills and experience to recruit for?
Um, Me being coming to this market, building a team for Heimdal, it was not easy. It was not easy as in um, it was very difficult for me to find the right resources. I was spending a lot of time in the recruitment part of it, identifying, what he really wants, identifying what kind of person he is. So this all can be managed by an entity definitely, and someone like you can definitely help me in finding the right resources. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so the major challenges which I had is to find the right skill set, the people with right skill set who have a passion to grow, and also who have the ability or the capability to grow together as a team rather than a person.
Hmm.
Yeah. And someone who can support me in the journey where I'm trying to take Heimdal to the next level. So these are the areas which I was a bit confused, where I was looking forward for some help.
Yeah.
And that's something I think me as a vendor, as a first person on the ground, will be looking forward for as well in the future.
Excellent. So when we talk about, you often hear people certainly within the cybersecurity space talk about the skills shortage. Okay. Now I'll be honest, we've not really encountered that because we don't typically have an issue for recruiting people, regardless of how specific the requirements are. But I'm just interested to understand from your perspective, have you seen any evidence of a particular skill shortage, and if so, what skills are we talking about here?
Uh, I have seen people with different skills in the market with different vendors. Some of
Hmm.
people act in a different way actually. Some of the people, some of the excellent talents, they will be very good at selling it, but at the in terms of negotiation, they might be having some challenges. Uh,
Hmm.
a salesperson should, the best capability or skill the salesperson should have is communication skill. He should
Hmm.
be able to communicate what he wants the customer to buy.
Yeah.
And being in space, one of the best, I believe one of the best part of mine is I have an excellent communication skill when it comes to the customers. I'm not
Hmm.
talking about maybe my partners might be, but not my vendors or anyone which I work with, but I'm more into the customers. So
Hmm.
I believe uh, one thing about me, if a meeting, if a customer meeting is going in a very slow pace, and
Hmm.
if I get 5 minutes of it, I can turn that into a faster communication. I can turn into a better result. That's
Hmm.
that's the confidence I have as a salesperson. I believe this is the major skill,
Hmm.
we all as in the top level management looking for in the people,
Yeah.
especially the communication skills, which has been followed by the the skill set when it comes to negotiations,
Mhm.
and also the person should be the fast learner because the industry is going in a very fast way, right? I mean, so the
Sure.
person should also be a fast learner. So this all should be the areas where we feeling there's a short and definitely, but people can definitely improve this.
Excellent. Okay, fine. So now back to Heimdal to some extent. What I'm interested in understanding now is obviously the market evolves, the industry evolves. Where do you see? I was going to say yourself, but not yourself. Where do you see perhaps Heimdal security over the next 5 years? How is the company evolving?
Heimdal security have been evolving since 2014 in the term
Mm.
of you know the product development. If you've seen the growth of Heimdal, it's been very fast.
Mm.
When I joined Heimdal in 19, the top salespeople, we were almost like 40 people. In 2020, we were able to increase the strength of the sales team from this 40 to 180. That's 3 times or 4 times of what we had in the past. So
Yeah.
it's about the organization as growing. Plus, we are putting all of our effort to make ourselves as the real barriers to bring the company to the front end. Yeah, to be in one of the first five cybersecurity providers in the market.
Yeah.
The plans we have for, let's start from the Middle East, of course. The plans we have for Middle East, we have developed, or we have found some of the areas a vendor should be really thought about, especially in Middle East, where we have a lot of challenges in terms of data compliance, storing data, the data distribution part of it. Heimdal have taken a great step towards it. We are going to launch our local data centers with the support of Microsoft Azure. We'll be having a local data centers very soon in this market, and hopefully in 1 or 2 months, which will be great news for us. The government
ahead.
yeah, so the government companies, the enterprises still have a bit reluctancy in moving to cloud. This would definitely remove that, because if their data is being used in UAE, they're happy, they think they are safe. Of course, they are of course safe, and things will be very, very, very good for we as a vendor and for the customer as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Good to see things moving in the right direction. So listen, one last question for you, Pavin. What I'm interested, and what I know our audience are interested to understand is, do you have any advice for anyone who is maybe considering a move into cybersecurity from a career perspective?
My advice to the people who is looking into the cybersecurity space, or the people coming to the cybersecurity space, of course, if you really think about it, this is a great space to perform, to definitely to have financial benefit, and of course to be the best in the market. It's a great area focused. And if you're already in the cybersecurity space, the only suggestion which I want to share is learn a lot, keep learning, because it's growing day by day. The technology which you see today at 1 o'clock will not be the technology you see today at 5 o'clock. It will change. The hackers will change. They are more smarter. They're more smart than all of us. So they will come with new technologies. We also have to come with new technologies, and that's where the cybersecurity industry is moving. So make yourself updated on the technologies. Make yourself known to your competitors, and all this information will definitely benefit you in your career, of course.
Excellent. Thanks for that. I've got time. One last question from Mohammed. Mohammed says, what is the new trend, or what are the new trends in information security? Are there space for AI or SO?
Mohammed, just to understand that question, I know what you mean by AI, and what you mean by SO is the security operations, right? I believe it's security operations.
Yeah, I assume so. Yeah. If Mohammed, if you type in, it just said SO. Okay. Yeah. So let's just assume security operations and AI. Yeah.
So AI is a growing field, as we all know. It's one of the fastest growing field. And we as in Heimdal, we have also taken steps towards the AI part of it. We have introduced, if you look at the DNS security market, all the vendors in the market are lot relying on the databases. The database means, in simple words, you have a database of the malicious website in the market. So if something comes in that area, you have to block the particular domain. So that's where all the cybersecurity, all DNS security, web security vendors focus. Heimdal Security have taken a future step towards it. We have brought AI, and we utilize AI in identifying the malicious website or the website where we can get attacked tomorrow. Yeah, the future. I mean, that's something called predictive DNS, which we have brought to the table. And what we do here is with our mechanism in AI, we will be able to understand the language of the domain, the script which is running in the domain, what kind of website it is, all the data, all the information about the domain, and this is helping us a lot in our growth. When the other vendors in the DNS security, they're still focusing into the databases, we took a step towards AI, and now we brought AI into the DNS security. So our focus in your database is very, very minimum, let's say 20%, 30%, where 70% focus is into AI. And this is not just involving with Heimdal, but it is happening with all the vendors in cybersecurity space. And in the future, if you see from 5 years, I can simply say that everything which you say, including security operation, will be completely AI based.
Yeah.
You don't have to do, you just have to get the solution in place. The solution will do everything for you. Maybe what we call the virtual CISO, it might not be there after 5 years. It will be like virtual CISO computers or the AI capability coming in picture. That will be the future, I believe, Richard. I mean, it's a big field of, and it is one of the fastest growing area.
Awesome. There is actually one other question. Sorry, I missed it. This is from Sriram also. We'll just answer this. Sriram says, any micro-segmentation features available or expected in near future within product or services?
Sriram, we are currently trying to develop something on our side, but more than micro-segmentation, what we're trying to do is first bring a technology which will provide a 360 level security, and then look at that area. So if you look into Heimdal, I can simply say by 2022 January, we'll be having a platform which provides a 360 level security to the customers, and that's where we are planning for. But that's where we're going to. So in 7 months, 8 months, you will definitely see, or you will definitely hear a lot of things from Heimdal in terms of our unified security platform and the 360 level security. Micro-segmentation will definitely come in the future, and as you know, there are products at the moment which is already doing it, but it has to be matured a lot, in the coming days. So we'll wait some time for that, and we'll definitely come up with that particular strategy in the future.
Excellent. Look, we're out of questions and almost out of time. I think, look, I've thoroughly enjoyed the conversation with you today, Pavin. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you,
Richard. Thanks a lot. It's been a pleasure with you. Before ending up this webinar, I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
You have been in this industry for quite some time, and yes, what is the reason for your success? Because you had a success within a very short span of time. Because if I didn't know you in 2016 or 17, we met in 2019, and we made a big friendship bond within us, and also you have been very familiar in the market as well at the moment. So what is success when it comes to a recruitment consultancy? What is the what? Sorry, I missed the first part of the question. What is the what? What is the reason of success you being a recruitment consultancy?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. It's a good question. Look, I think the reality is before we set up the business in 2019, I'd worked with a number of different recruitment agencies here in the region, and they were just awful. They were very highly transactional from a business model perspective. Okay, they were just interested in sending CVs. Many weren't adequate, and that was it. So what we've done, and to be honest, the pandemic has helped us in a way, because rather than setting up the business and rushing into this well-known transactional business model, we were able to take a step back and get to know the market better. By way of, we run regular webinars that we're doing now for cybersecurity. We run also workshops, lunch and learn sessions. The next one will be in a couple of weeks where we'll be discussing customer success as a concept in sales. And then we also have regular mastermind sessions with leaders within the industry as well. And all this is really aimed at giving value to the industry. And because we're offering so much value up front, that increases our reach from a candidate perspective. And then also that means from a client perspective, people want to deal with someone who's doing something different, right? Historically, one of our recent clients, we actually have them on video saying we lost faith in recruitment agencies and then we found Alcon Maddox. Because our approach is very different. I think because I've I come from a sales and sales leadership background. We adopt this approach in all our mandates, right? So it's very much, it's not just send me a job description, I'll find you a candidate. It's more about us trying to understand the company at a deeper level. So the question we always ask is, what is the challenge you're trying to address with this hire? And we help them frame ultimately the target profile that we then pursue in the market. But look, appreciate the question, but today's not about me. It's about you and cybersecurity. But look, if the reality is, look, if anyone out there wants help with recruiting within the cybersecurity industry, then obviously please do reach out. My email address is richard@alconmaddox.com. Myself and my team would be more than happy to help you guys out. A recording of this session, guys, just so you know, will be available in the next couple of days. So please look out for it on our LinkedIn page. But it'll also be live on our website, which is alconmaddox.com/webinars. So that is it for this week. We'll be back again next month with another cybersecurity leader. If you or your company would like to participate or become a speaker on these sessions, then again, please get in touch. Richard@alconmaddox.com. I'll be more than happy to have the discussion with you. Thanks again, Pavin, and thanks very much for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next month.